All right, welcome to Wednesday, everybody. Well, we're not halfway through the week until we get halfway through today. So we'll get started working our way to halfway through the week. Here we go with some headlines again because Carl did his job. Yay. Let's see. He was playing disc golf, then a tiny hammerhead shark fell from the sky. Reason number one to not play disc golf. Yeah. Never knew it was so dangerous. I don't need hammerhead sharks falling out of the sky. Actually, I read a book a bazillion years ago about really strange occurrences of time changing in different locations, and weird things happen like that. Like all of a sudden, just like fish fell from the sky in this one area, and dinosaurs popped up in another area, and water became in another area. And it's just really, really weird. But just one hammerhead shark? Weird. And a baby one fell out of the sky? Weird. Disc golf? Weird. Just kidding. Next up, drinking coffee is associated with a longer, healthier life according to new study. Sure it is. I'm gonna live a long, healthy life. Woohoo! I did read up on this because I am a coffee drinker. I do love coffee. I know it has some redeeming qualities to it, but you got to be careful. And it really has to do with a lifestyle. And if your lifestyle is rounded out by having a 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day, then it could benefit you. It could benefit you. If your lifestyle is crap and you're adding a few cups of coffee a day, you might be making your life a little crappier. So just, word to the wise. When they say something like coffee is better for you when you consume more, you gotta look at the whole picture, the whole health picture you got going on. But I like it because I'm doing the best I can. All right, next up. Scientists find 34 million year old snake that changed our understanding of evolution. Yeah, it did. Apparently, some of the worst and creepiest things made it on through. Alligators, sharks. Yeah. I'm not sure why we needed those things to make it on through from the dinosaur days. And a dinosaur snake, basically, 34 million years ago. Okay. You survived whatever killed the dinosaurs. Tough sledding right there. But you survived that, and what the heck were you then? I mean, how big was that snake? It probably wasn't small, and it made it through there, and the rest of them, at least they shrunk. Alligators, they shrunk a little bit. Sharks, they shrunk a little bit. Everything's shrinking. Why? It's weird. Evolution is a shrinking process, apparently, in some cases. Not all cases. All right, it is Wednesday. It is Dressed to Impress Wednesday, so hopefully you're dressed appropriately, looking good. I know there's a few of you out there. I see you. You're ready for Austin's movie review. Yeah, because you got to write your movies that you want to watch that Austin talks about, and then Friday we have the epic games, and then you got your plan for the weekend, and we can talk about movies coming out over the weekends. Like, we got some good ones. Mission Impossible came out. Stitch, the live action, came out. Something else just came out. And there's more coming out, so we'll talk about those too. So here is Austin's movie review.
Hello, everybody. It is I, Austin, back for more movies to share with you so you can go watch them, because if you don't watch them, I'm going to feed you to the sharks. Hey Larry, do we have any sharks? Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, that's what I thought. And so, with this in mind, I figured I'd talk about a rather old film from 1966 that someone recommended I talk about, and that is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, directed by Sergio Leone and starring Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, and Eli Wallach. And the premise of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, for those who have probably never seen it and only know of the here is basically the premise. Essentially, it follows three characters. Those being Clint Eastwood's the man with no name, sometimes usually going by different names, usually Joe, then I think he's referred to as Blanco or something in another film. And here I think he's called Blondie. So there's his character. There's Eli Wallach's Tuco, who is the ugly, and Clint Eastwood's character is the good. And then there's the bad, which is Lee Van Cleef's character of Angel Eyes, who is very different than his character in For a Few Dollars More, which is the phrase which was his predecessor, because in that film he was a good guy, and here he's the bad guy, obviously. And it's all based on them trying to collect a certain treasure, and one thing leads to another, and it all culminates in one of the greatest showdowns ever filmed. And The Good, Bad, and the Ugly is such a great, great movie. Like, it's very well paced. The performances are top notch. It's incredibly gorgeous. Like, this movie looks fantastic. Like, if you see it on like in HD, 4K, on a big screen, it looks gorgeous. It's well edited. The musical score, courtesy of Ennio Morricone, is phenomenal. Like, it is one of the best scores ever composed in history. And really, if you haven't seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or really any of Sergio Leone's movies, especially the previous two films in his Dollars trilogy, Once Upon a Time in the West or Once Upon a Time in America, please go do yourself a favor. Check it all out, especially The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, because if you're not watching that, these sharks are going to eat you faster than if I were to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Ah, nice job, Austin. Good pick. I wonder where she got that idea from. Oh, he. I wonder where he got that idea from. Yeah, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is great. I can't call it a spaghetti western. Some people will say that, but the spaghetti westerns are really the westerns that were shot in Italian and by Italian directors, although I do think that this was an Italian director. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is great. It's got great scenes, great story. It's long, but it is good, and it's got some other movies that are kind of tied to it. Really, really great quintessential western movie. The music has been used in various other movies. It's still a part of a Metallica concert. If you go to a Metallica concert, you're going to hear that song, which I'm blanking on the name of it, at a Metallica concert. It's a great movie. And it has one of the longest, awesomest Western duel, shootout in movie history. The longest, awesomest, least amount of action, but really cool. Suspense is gonna kill you. And those old shots where they get right up on the eyeballs, it's really great. You gotta watch it. It goes through these different stages throughout the movie. It's really cool. It's like a bunch of mini movies, actually all kind of stuck together. They probably could have broken it into probably 3 movies for certain aspects of what's going on. They probably even could have broken it into an entire series on the character development for each of the 3 characters, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So yeah, it's 3 characters. There's a good dude, and he's not really even that good. He's of the 3, he's the better. And the ugly, kind of straight up, they were just saying, this dude is not good looking. And then the bad, he was straight up a bad guy. So they could have done the whole character development because they did it in the movie, and then they had these long stories of them in the movie. They could have really just done a whole bunch, but it's a long movie. It's really good. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. Just make it into a series. Watch a little bit now, watch a little bit later, and just make it an own series. You can take a week and watch this thing. That would be cool. It's a really good movie. Nice job, Austin, and great job, Alana, on the idea. Yeah, I wonder where you got that from. As always, would you rather this or would you rather that?
Star in a movie or TV series? TV series.
Why?
Because why not? Starring in TV series because why not? And because TV shows are way longer than movies. Movies are short.
Star in a movie or TV series?
I'm not sure, but if I had to pick between a movie or a TV, I'm gonna go with TV.
Why?
Because obviously as much as I like movies, but I do like a little bit of TV.
Would you rather star in a TV series or movie?
I'd rather prefer both.
You prefer both? Mm-hmm. If you had to pick one, what would you choose?
I'm thinking a TV show.
Star in a movie or TV series?
In a movie.
Why?
Because I usually watch a lot of movies, especially like Fast and Furious.
Would you rather star in a movie or TV series?
Both.
If you had to pick one, what would you choose?
I would be in a TV series.
TV series, huh?
Yep.
Would you rather star in a movie or TV series?
I think I'd rather start in the movie.
Why?
Because they don't. Let me think for a second. I like being in movies because they run longer and it has a good steady paced character development.
Star in a movie or TV series?
TV series.
Why?
Because I thought maybe it could be a lot more easier than being in a movie.
Would I rather be a star in a movie or a TV series? Well, gosh, I don't know. It would depend on what it is. If the TV series was a really cool series where as the actor you get to do cool fun stuff instead of just acting, reading lines and walking around basic sets and stuff like that, it's not very interesting. Same thing with the movie. Honestly, if you're just walking around a set that's like a house or an office or something, not very exciting. If you're on like a set where you're doing like action and stunts and stuff like that, that would be cool. I would be more interested in that. Even though I think I'd have to say the movie, because I feel like the lower, the TV series tend to have a lower budget. The action fun stuff might not be as cool, whereas the movie, they're like, going to do some cool stuff. You're going to get to do maybe drive some fancy cars and get to do some cool things. I'd probably say the movie, I guess. Yeah, probably more fun on the movie. Plus, there's like an end date to it. What if you get on the series and you're doing it, and even if it's action fun stuff and it just gets boring after a while, now you're locked into this long series. Movie, done. Hey, if you do a good job, maybe they pick you up for another one, whatever. But that would be my choice. All right, next up is the firewood frog ASL word of the day.
ASL word of the day is snake. Two, and make like a little, like that, and then snake. I'm scared of snakes. Ah!
All right, I got this one. Snake. Yeah. Funny that was in the headlines today. I wonder what I wonder how to say dinosaur snake. Dinosaur snake. We'd have to look it up. But snake. Yep. The nice thing about riding a motorcycle while eating a hot dog is you don't have to worry about the snakes. Unless you parked somewhere. Creepy motorcycle idea now. Can you imagine? You're like, you're driving Route 66, right? Out in the deserts and stuff like this. You're like in Arizona and you're driving the deserts and you're on Route 66 and you stop off at this really cool place because it's on the Route 66 map and it says stop at this diner and have lunch. You go in and you have lunch and there's snakes on the wall, and then you go out on your motorcycle and you're riding along, you're riding your motorcycle, and all of a sudden a snake climbs up because it climbed up on your bike when it was parked outside the diner. Could you imagine? You're going to crash, unless you're friendly with snakes. But I think that would just, holy cow. I would just you seen like when you were young, you rode your bike and you would ghost ride it. You just get pedaling kind of fast and you just let it go. You just kind of jump off it and let it go. I would do that on the motorcycle. Yeah, at 55 miles an hour, because I would never speed. At 55 miles an hour, I'd let that thing go straight and I would eat the pavement because I would freak out completely. Could you imagine? That's creepy. This is reason number 638 why to not ride motorcycles. Because snakes can climb on them. Snake's not opening your door and climbing in your car. Motorcycle? Something to think about. All right, next up. Did you know this? That snakes can climb up on a motorcycle. Did you know that, motorcycle riders, if there's any out there? Did you know this, though? No, seriously, did you know this? What Zach's going to tell us. Not what I just told you about snakes, but this.
Did you know there are islands that are actually ruled by animals? There's Crab Island, Snake Island, Monkey Island, Cat Island, and Spider Island.
Ooh, I do not want to go to that fifth island.
Yeah, they're all located I don't know where, but do not go to those islands. But if you're interested, go ask your parents.
Did you know that there's all these islands owned by creatures? I know that like in the Galapagos Islands, they're not inhabited by humans on purpose to see how nature evolves on its own, because that is where Darwin's theory of evolution was from the Galapagos Islands and the weird creatures that lived there that didn't live anywhere else. But there were some fossil records that they had at the time, and so Darwin said, hey, hold on a second. These things don't live anywhere else, but they look like these bones we used to have. How do we get from bones to these guys that kind of mimic the bones and to us? And what we've found so far, something's not right. Something's evolved. And that's where the story of evolution comes from. Now, cats owning an island. I think that the cats didn't own the island. I think someone got tired of all their cats and took them to the island. Or, better yet, the old lady, man, doesn't have to be an old lady, could be a dude, is living on that island, and they're the cat person of your neighborhood that got booted off the big island to stay on the small island because they had too many cats. Can you imagine what that smells like? That's one big island, is just a big litter box. Holy cow, that must not smell great. That must not. Yes. Monkey Island. How do they eat? You know, they like bananas and some eat bugs and stuff like that. But yeah, interesting. Snake Island. That's a movie. It hasn't been made yet. I will not participate in any way, shape, or form, especially if there'll be real snakes there. Not down for that. But don't take your motorcycle there, because they're gonna climb on the motorcycle. They're going to do it. I'm telling you. Snake Island. What if there wasn't a sign and you were drifting out at sea on a raft and there wasn't a sign? You're just like, land, I'm gonna survive, I'm gonna live. And you start paddling to the island and you get to the beach and you're like, yes, I made it, I'm gonna live. Because there's no sign to call it Snake Island. Now, you might as well have been on Skull Island at this point, because living with King Kong would probably be better than living with all those snakes. Snake Island. I hope they put signs up. Or when you get close to the beach, it's just slithering like in Indiana Jones. Just the floor is moving, the beach is moving, and you can see it, and you're like, I'm going the other way. So, yeah, now you know that they have islands inhabited just by animals. Ooh. We gotta think of a cool island with some cool animals to inhabit. We gotta make our own island. We'll think about it. All right, guys, that's it for Wednesday. Hope you have a great day. I'm sure some of you are looking really good. Nice job on Dress to Impress Wednesday. We'll see you Friday on the morning routine. Take care, everybody.